Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. Any place you are joining from, if you are joining from Biafra land, you are joining from Asia, you are joining from Europe, you are joining from America, whichever part of the world you are joining from, I appreciate you and I thank you so much for connecting to this very program. Today is a special day and we are going to go into the broadcast without wasting time so that we can be able to talk about one or two things. This is something that concerns us and we have to talk about some issues. You know, today is our Heroes Day. 30th May, the day we celebrate our heroes, a day we will never forget. It doesn't matter how they try, we'll never forget. Let's start our program by singing our national anthem and the prayer of our school leader as usual.
Evening and good night to some of you. This is a very special broadcast, and of course, we must pray. And prayer we must this very evening and always going forward. And I will pray in the language of heaven because Chukwukika Biama is in control of all that we have been doing and will continue to do until Biafra is restored and all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic are set free. Chineke na nke pụrụ ihe niile Chukwu okike abịa banye ndefe na aja aha nsọ ya mma mgbe niile. Onye ọbụla na ya na-achị eluigwe n'ụwa na-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị amara gị n'ọmịiko gị ebe ndị gị na-eze ebede ngọzi. Anyị wee na-etoghị agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro iwe nye anyị ndụ ala nke dị n'uwere n'ụbọchị nke taa anyị wee na-asị na ịja mma niile otu niile dịrị aha nsọ gị onye ọ bụ naanị aka ike niile na ọ gbadara aka ya anyị wee na-akpọku gị na-asị gị na nke ọma anyị ga-ekele gị nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelee gị anyị wee na-aja gị mma wee na-eto gị wee na-asọpụrụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile bụ ndị ikwu ndị wee eziokwu mgbe a kpọrọ ha ka ha wee chekwaa ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na ihe n'ikwuru anyị nkwa na o mekataghị ka ndị iro wee were ala nsọ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro ma ndị na-agba mgbọgba ebe niile dị iche iche onye nwe m na Chineke nna ihere bụ nke ndị dị etu a n'ụbọchị nke taa anyị wee na-eto gị wee na-asị onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile onye ọ bụ naanị ya na-azọpụta onye ọ bụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na ọtụtụ na-eja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi ise ise ise.
Thank you so much for joining, wherever you are joining from, wherever you are connecting from. If you are connecting from Biafra land, you are joining from Asia, from Europe, from America, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, whichever part you are joining from, I say, may Chukwu okike abịama continue to guide and protect you. Mainly, I appreciate those of you who are joining from Biafra land. I say, may Chukwu okike abịama guide and protect every single one of you. And please, as you are joining, share the video so that others can get the notification. Because the page is being suppressed so many times, the page is being suppressed. They are making sure that we cannot be able to reach our viewers. We cannot be able to reach our followers It's very difficult sometimes to broadcast and reach out people. But the more you're sharing the video, you're liking, it will help us to reach out to people. That is the support you can give as a Biafran to support the struggle. You support by sharing and liking the video. That will make it to reach other people. Thank you so much for joining. Today, we are going to reflect back on our journey, Biafran journey. And you know, today is our Heroes Day. It's a day we remember those who has given their life for the struggle of Biafra. Everybody today knows where we are coming from. It doesn't matter if you are Biafra or not a Biafran. You know where Biafran people are coming from. You know where we are coming from that brought us to where we are today, asking for self-determination, fighting for our independence. We've come a long way. They have killed us a lot. They've killed us in the past, killed us so many times. Even when there was no war, they were still killing us. The civil war come, they killed us. Millions of us died. And up to this minute, nobody has been held accountable. Nobody has been held accountable. And those who perpetrated that evil, who committed that genocide, most of them are still alive, walking freely. Most of them are still alive, being celebrated. Most of them have even succeeded in becoming a president in that caliphate. Most of them have succeeded in getting so many titles. Most of them are being celebrated in their region for committing that genocide. Some of them today, they are being respected and remembered because of the genocide they committed against the Biafran people. And it didn't stop there. It is still happening up to today. As you're watching the video, Biafran people are still losing their life. Biafran people are still losing their life. As you are watching the video, we are still losing our life. But we cannot stop. We will continue to remember our heroes. We will never forget. We will never, ever forget. And for every Biafran soul that have lost, somebody must be held accountable. Somebody must definitely be held accountable. Millions of Biafrans have lost their life before the Civil War, during the Civil War, after the Civil War, and up to today. The war is still going on. We are losing people on different fronts in Biafra land. The Fulani Caliphate have said that we will not leave. They are trying by all means possible to wipe the Biafran people away. What crime have Biafran committed? The only crime that we committed is that we refuse to be slaves. The only crime we committed is that we are educated, we are hardworking. That is the only crime we committed. They turned our brothers and sisters against us. They turned our neighbors against us. And we have been fighting up to today as you're watching the video for survival. And we will continue to fight until the last man standing. Remember what our Senior Martin Nandekano said, that we are going to fight, even if it's only one Biafran that remains. That Biafrans that remains will carry the flag of Biafra up. And Biafra will continue from him. But as for stopping, we can never stop. It is either Biafra or death. We will continue to fight for Biafra until we return to our grave. If we cannot achieve it on our own time, which I know we must definitely achieve, the struggle will continue. It is not a child's play. If somebody tells it's a child's play, it's not a child's play. So many Biafrans have lost their life. Even after the Civil War. We're not talking about the Civil War because the issue of the Civil War is open. Everybody knows about it. Nobody has been held accountable. After the Civil War and recently, many Biafrans are still losing their life up to today. You saw what happened in the home of Asula Mazin Nandekan during the Python dance. 28 able men were mowed down in cold blood. Unarmed, they did nothing. Jack was killed. They did nothing. Up to today, as you're watching, he remains unknown soldier. Nobody is being held accountable. Our Supreme Amazing Nandekan lost his parents because of the tragedy, because of what happened in their home, or in the quest for Biafra. He lost his parents, he lost his mother and father. So many other Biafrans are in captivity as you're watching, including our Supreme Amazing Nandekan. He's in captivity because of Biafra. Ikonso was killed in cool blood. Ikonso was not murdered in the war front. Ikonso, a brave soldier who was defending his father's land, who was defending our territory, making sure that the invaders do not take over our land. He wasn't going after the military nor the police. He was pursuing the terrorists to take them away from our land and make sure that our land is protected. but they went and took the life of Ikunso in his home while he was sleeping. We will never forget. We will never forget the tears that our Sunamazin and kind of shared on the day they took away Ikunso. We will never forget. We will never forget our brothers and sisters who are falling on a daily basis. Even as you're watching the video, some of our brothers and sisters are still falling. We will never forget. We will never forget the members of ESN who has been blackmailed, who have been sold out. ESN commanders who has lost their life, even in the hand of the saboteurs, who are supposed to be their brothers. We will never forget. We will never forget. It doesn't matter how they try to blackmail us to keep us down. We can never be down. But I assure you, I can see Biafra coming closer. Closer than it was yesterday. Biafra is fast approaching. And we will surely get our destinations. So many of us, we're going to witness the Biafra. We will raise the flag. With our Sunamazin Nanikan, we will raise the flag. A lot of things have happened in Japan. So many things have happened. Many Biafrans' lives have been wasted, all in the name of keeping their one Nigeria. That is why we are asking for self-determination, asking for breakup from this contraption so that we can have a home, a place we can stay and defend our territory, a place we can come and home. So many of us have lost our life. We don't have any home, nobody to fight for us. We are fighting for ourselves. The Biafran people have nobody to stand for, nobody to speak for them. In the contraption called Nigeria, we have no name. We are not welcome. They don't want us anywhere around them. You have seen what they have done in the election. We said we are not part of the election. Some Biafrans who feel that they can be able to change things. Yeah, we are talking about the 2023 Igbo presidency. Today, you have seen it. You have seen the kind of thing they are doing. You see the kind of standard they are setting. Every single one of us can say it's very, very clear that we are not wanted in the contraption called Nigeria. And the only thing that is going to create a sane country where people will live freely and practice whatever they want to practice is only when we get Biafra. That is why Biafra is our last hope. Our last and only hope. We have to stand up, speak up, and do the needful now. Open up our heart and mind and listen. Whenever you hear an instruction, follow up that instruction. That is the only way to stay alive. That's the only way to stay alive. The late Muhammad Buhari was one of the people who committed genocide against Biafrans during the Civil War. He was one of those who committed genocide against the Civil War. He was being compensated with presidency. Today, they are still celebrating him for wasting the life of Biafran people. And after his death, they are still using his name to run affairs. If every one of you can remember when he took power, when he was being told about the massacre of the Biafran people, he wasn't even bold enough to watch the video. He couldn't even stand to watch the video. He refused to watch the video. That is why when we see things that are happening today, when you see the propaganda they are bringing against IPOB, you will be wondering, do these people have a heart at all? Do they have a heart? When you see the lies, the media, mainly the conventional media in Nigeria, the lies they are peddling, the lies they are pushing against IPOB, the lies they are pushing against IPOB and Biafra, so against Mazen Nanikan, you'll be wondering, do they really have a heart? Are these people human? IPOB members have been mowed down for a very long time. Just for asking for self-determination, raising flag alone. They were not holding ammunition. They wouldn't fight anybody. They didn't come to overthrow anybody. They are asking for self-determination. A right that is enshrined in international law, enshrined in African Charter law, enshrined in their own Nigerian law. That was what we were asking for. But simply because it was the Biafrans that are making the request, their life was smoked out of them. Many Biafrans lost their life. Many members of IPOB lost their life. Many innocent members of IPOB lost their life. Innocent people, even those who were not members of IPOB, were mowed down. Today we remember them and we will never forget. We will never forget. I'm going to play this video for you to remember what have transpired in the past. No matter how they try to cover it up, we will never forget. Watch the Muhammad Buhari when he was shown the picture of the atrocity the military he controls committed in Biafra land. What he has to say. Let's watch.
They are protesting peacefully for the most part on a regular basis, and there has been video. I could show you some video that's been posted of a very...
No, thank you.
These are the images the president didn't want to see. They're on the internet and we can't verify exactly what they show, but it appears as though security forces were shooting at unarmed protesters in the southeastern state of Abia. This is footage I can't personally verify, but it looks as though the security forces have gone in very heavy-handedly shooting, and there were reported to be 7 deaths. I'm wondering, how are you planning to deal with this issue of Biafra? You, of course, have first-hand experience.
After a 30-month civil war, at least 2 million Nigerians were killed. And for somebody to wake up, maybe he wasn't born when there was just fighting in Biafra and said he wants Biafra again. We have multi-party democratic system now. Let them organize themselves and vote for to have a state within a state. But to try and interfere with movement of troops, with economy, looking for Biafra, after losing 2 million people, I think they are joking with Nigerian security, and Nigeria will not tolerate it.
Why don't you invite them for talks?
Why should we invite them?
For the most part, they appear to be young people, as you say, with no recollection
they didn't know what
of the war,
happened.
the 1967-70 war. But these are disaffected young men for the most part, but young women as well, who are protesting, it would appear, against their reduced economic opportunities. Government allocations to state governments in that region have been reduced by something like 50%. These people want
How much
jobs.
was oil costing? For the last 16 years, it was costing from over $140 per barrel, now to sometimes under 30. So the system of allocation has to correspondingly be reduced. So why shouldn't it affect them if it's affecting the whole of Nigeria?
You have heard him. This is the late Muhammadu Buhari, the man that committed genocide against Biafra during the Civil War. He was voted into power. You can hear him in the interview when he was being confronted with the genocide he committed against Biafran people. You saw him without remorse. Without any remorse, he was still saying, boasting that he's going to kill Biafrans and more. And you see the way he boasted, that is exactly what he's doing today. When the presenter from Al Jazeera asked him to have a talk with Biafran, he said he can never have a talk with Biafrans, and that is what he's standing for. Today, they are almost using his name to come to the end of the tenor. Yet, that very script that he wrote is what they are still playing. Every single thing this man has spoken in that very way, that is what they are doing today. Taking the life of innocent Biafrans, destroying Biafran. He doesn't want to see any Biafran. He went up to the extent of calling us a dot. We can never forget. It doesn't matter how they try to confuse us or deceive us. We can never ever forget. For every single life of Biafra that is lost, although the late Muharrem have gone, his family is going to pay for it. His children are going to pay for it. Every single one of them in the caliphate that support this evil is going to pay for it. That is certain. That is certain. For every Biafran life that is lost, they will definitely pay for it. You've seen it. He wasn't even bold. He wasn't even bold to even look at the picture. He refused to watch a video of the atrocity his military committed against Biafran people, innocent agitators who are not committed anything. Each time you confront them, they tell you that we are not there when Biafra was fought. Biafra was fought, that we are not born. That we are not there when Biafra was fought, but we have the history in our palm. And every single thing that happened during the Biafra war is still happening today. The war is still going on. We have still seen the bombing. We have still seen the mayhem. We have still seen the air jet fighter flying on the air. We have seen the hunger. Every single thing that happened during the Biafran war, we are seeing it today. So how is this man coming to tell me that I wasn't born during the Biafran war? For that, I will not talk about Biafra. When every single thing that happened in the Biafran war is still repeating itself today. We will never forget. We will never forget. It doesn't matter, they can turn the whole world against us, they can turn everybody against us, but we will never forget. They will definitely pay. Chukwuka is standing with Biafrans. Today, as we remember our heroes, every innocent blood that is spilled on Biafran land, every innocent blood of a Biafran that is spilled is going to speak. And the time is coming. The time is now. the voice, the blood of the innocent that is spilled in Biafra land. The innocent Biafran lives that have been wasted and that's continue to waste. Even as you're watching the video, they are still there, taking the life of Biafrans. Those lives will speak. A lot of atrocities is happening in Biafra land. A whole lot. A whole lot of atrocities is happening in Biafra land. And I'm going to play another video for you to see what is transpiring in Biafra land. A compilation that from one of their corrupt media, Sahara Reporters. I'm going to show you what Sahara Reporter put together. Even though they are now conniving with the caliphate, because that is the system that Nigeria is running. Nigeria is so corrupt that they can buy anybody buyable. As long as you have your establishments to make money, they are going to spoil you until you begin to report nonsense. But I'm going to use that video of Sahara Reporter to show you what is happening in Biafra land. In case you have forgotten, we will never forget. Let's watch. Watching now are the atrocities that happen in Biafra land. Every single video that is there is not transparent to how they destroy our homes, they burn our houses for our homes. Everything international community that we are with. Amnesty International have the report. United Nations have the report. Human rights have the report. Why are they silent? Why are they silent at the death of the Biafra people? The innocent Biafra should have not committed any crime. The only crime that we have committed is that we are Biafra. Take the life of innocent Biafra. So many of us have been moved down. Not because we kidnapped anybody, not because we just did a crime, not because we committed a crime. Simply because we are in the of Biafra. Our life is being slowed down of us. Even as you're watching this video, atrocities that are going on in Biafra land. Nobody cares. Nobody says anything. The military jumped to ridiculous the house of people. Where people are living and open fire in the house of civilians, unarmed civilians. You see military going to the home of unarmed civilians and open fire with a machine gun. Taking the life of innocent Biafrans and nobody is speaking. Those who are supposed to speak are not speaking. Those who are supposed to represent are not speaking. International community close their eyes and they are not seeing what is happening. Everybody feels left concerned. But we will never forget. We will never forget. Every single woman that is in forever to work that in Biafra land. Everyone that has hand in the death of Biafra in Biafra land will be definitely killed. We are going to say clearly. In this world and in the world to come, we will never forget. We will never forget. What we are doing is not in Biafra land. Millions of lives lost. Even as they're watching from homes that people bombed, lives that they took. Innocent people are being killed. Biafra land has been living for life so much that we don't have a fighting place to be. Even though we try to defend ourselves, we give them blame. Today they have ended up in creating a force called unknown gunmen. And you can see with yourself what is going on in Biafra land. We will never forget. We will never forget. It doesn't matter what they do. It doesn't matter what they say. We will never forget. We will continue to remember every atrocity they are committing in Biafra land. They will definitely pay.
Ask me the question, why do you want to join the army? My response was,
they will definitely pay for every single thing that happened in Biafra land. They brought war upon us. We didn't go for war. They brought war upon us during the Civil War. It was them that brought war upon us. Even when our eternal leader, Dim Odumegwu, tried everything possible to maintain peace. Try everything possible to resolve things peacefully. They refused. They refused. He went ahead to go to Aburi to make a discussion, to have peace, but they refused. They chose war. They took the life of innocent Biafrans for no just cause. And I'm going to play some few videos for you to see what transpired. We will never forget.
Just an open carte blanche suggestion, anybody who can find a democratic way of finding out the wishes of the people, let him suggest it and we will go for it.
My name is...
Before the war, Guy Akobu was a lawyer. A refugee from Port Harcourt, he talks about his brothers.
As an ordinary Biafran, I have been affected by this war, just the same way as millions of others. This is one of the main squares in the town of Umuahia. It's right opposite the market. Now, most of the stores are open, not because they do a lot of business, but because they just have to keep open to make believe as if life is still normal, as if they're still carrying on their normal day-to-day business. They don't sell much, and even at the prices which they sell, the ordinary man in the street can't afford to pay for these products, but still they have to keep open. That is those who are not employed in essential services. When people go to the markets and they find that prices are so high, really there ain't much they can do about it, because they know it's not the fault of the traders, but the people are really not bothered. It does not affect their morale. In fact, one thing which has helped Biafrans to bear and to sustain themselves is the extended family system. Every Biafran considers any other Biafran as his own brother or sister. And if he finds anyone hungry, he takes the person in and gives him some food. You see, we are interdependent and we treat ourselves as brothers, as one, because we're all undergoing the same suffering and the same hardship. Can't find any Biafran begging. People are really ashamed to go begging either for food or for money. They prefer to do an honest day's work for their daily bread, because we understand what we're fighting for, and we prefer to make any sacrifice, whatever, no matter how long it lasts, so as to get our fundamental rights. That is the right to exist as a people, the right to protect ourselves, the right to our home, to practice our religion, to live as we would like to live.
The head of the Biafran judiciary is their Chief Justice, Sir Louis Mbenefo.
As a judge, naturally, I believe in the rule of law, and the government of Biafra believes in that. Right from the start of the crisis, we have maintained law and order in Biafra. The courts have been functioning subject to the exigencies of the war. In fact, if you look outside here, you'll see 4 courts in this area, all performing their duty. I think that is very good evidence of stability. But we who are in the leadership have learned one lesson. That when a people are determined, you cannot crush them by force of arms. And if this war has done one thing, it's made Biafra into a nation. Every child, every woman, every man feels it in his blood. It's a thing you cannot conquer. You only have to walk out in the street and it stares you in the face. You go through Biafra, in all facets of life, we have all that makes a nation.
For nearly 2 years, the Igbo people have been fighting against an attempt at the systematic annihilation of their entire population. They are isolated from the outside world and outnumbered in the field, but the Biafran determination intensifies.
I have a large army on the field now fighting. The government and the people, or the government of Biafra, has never paid that army. Everything that army uses till today is by voluntary contribution. The army of Biafra is fed by the locals in whatever area they're operating in. talk of our troops, to really understand them, to understand us, one has always to bear in mind that we are fighting most reluctantly. We're not fighting as a concerted policy to do something or to seize something. It's a reflex action. We have to do it because something is happening to us. And that affects the whole attitude of the military. All of them would sooner see an end to all this.
I am Major General Philip Effiong, the Chief of General Staff of the Biafran Armed Forces. When this war started, we had 128 rifles. We did not have a single mortar, certainly not a single mortar shell. And we just had no answer to these things. The Nigerian propaganda is quite effective because they give the impression that we are finished here. Of course we are far from finished, and we do know that we can go on fighting them. We are always in readiness, and that we're quite prepared to carry on the struggle for as long as the Nigerians like.
We dismount. That's the order. Come on!
You have watched it. This is just a sketch and brief of what transpired during the Civil War, how we managed to survive. The intention of the caliphate was not allow us to survive. They were doing everything possible to see that Biafrans are destroyed. We are left with nothing. But on our own, we fought. So many people you saw in that video fall in the war. Both our brothers from the coastal region, people in the mainland, they fought together as one. They were standing together. The people, most of the people you saw that was interviewed there, our brothers in the riverine area. But today, you see them talk. Some of them are still ignorant of what is happening, even when there are videos of evidence of the unity we had, the unity and love we had, without anybody being forced, without forcing anybody. And when you see them speaking, you see the spirit. It was this spirit of unity that made us to overcome. The spirit of unity and love, that was what made Biafra to stand for good 3 years, supporting each other. You heard them say it. The spirit of love among each other, helping each other with nothing. We didn't have anything. We didn't have anything, no money, no weapon, nothing. But because of the unity we had, we put our heads together and we were able to stand for good 3 years. Even when the caliphate thought that they are going to march over us, they couldn't be able to run over us. They could not do that. We stood our ground and we fought gallantly until the last minute. We will never forget.
Are yet to wake up from your slumber or your sleep and get the point that we are exiting Nigeria. Exiting Nigeria is not going to come from the platter of golden plate. You have to sacrifice for it. And we are ready to sacrifice everything, including you, if you come and stand in the way of freedom. So you need to know how serious we are. We are damn serious. Some of you are not getting it. You think we are here to build political movement? We are here for freedom. Freedom comes with price. Okay? The only thing you can do is to comment on social media. Don't ever stand on the way of Biafra freedom. We crush you.
Their interest is suppressed. Biafra is the key. Once they can hold Biafra down, they can hold all of Africa down. Hey, freedom fighting, sorry. Because all these people are criminals. They're saying there is no way this man cannot be a criminal like themselves. They don't have a different breed altogether. They don't know that. I am Nnamdi Kanu. I don't do all this nonsense you do. My father was a very rich man, not ostentatious. I had the finest education that his money could afford. We are not poor. Have never been. That is why a poor man cannot be a freedom fighter. If you're not full of yourself, you cannot be a freedom fighter. You cannot go everywhere. We must continue.